Hello and welcome to Recyclist. It's August 18th, 2025. I'm your host, Eric Provost, and this is your weekly roundup of all the biggest news stories from the world of waste, gas, and energy, brought to you by Diamond Scientific. First things first, and as always, let's take a quick look at the stock market and 5 stocks on the move from this past week within the world of waste, gas, and energy. Going into the weekend, Republic Services Incorporated was sitting at $233.64 per share. Brookfield Renewable Corp was at $33.70 per share. Forum Energy Technologies significantly up over the past couple weeks, now sitting at $23.53 per share. Waste Management has reached $227.11 per share. And Ranger Energy Services now at $12.59 per share. But first up in the news, according to a new analysis by market intelligence firm C Carbon, the amount of renewable natural gas registered under Canada's Clean Fuel Regulation Program jumped 417% between 2023 and 2024. This far outpaces other such fuels included in the program, such as ethanol, biodiesel, and sustainable aviation fuel. An associate with C Carbon, Akanksha Sriha, said the surge is likely due in part to new projects responding to recently created market incentives. They go on to say, quote, "Clean fuels programs and, in general, mandates have become increasingly important for RNG to make sense. This is a watershed year," end quote. And up next, Daryl Chambliss, Waste Connections co-founder, executive vice president, and COO, is leaving the company after 28 years. In a social media post, the company said, quote, "Daryl helped grow the company from one person and $13 million to over 25,000 employees and $10 billion. His impact is immeasurable, and we are deeply grateful for his leadership, partnership, and friendship. We wish his family health, happiness, and adventure in their next chapter. His legacy will live on." Subsequently, Waste Connections have announced Jason Kraft as their new executive vice president and COO. He is a 22-year veteran of the company. And up next, we're starting to see some second quarter reports from some big companies within the industry, and there's a couple that I just wanted to briefly highlight. First up, Montrose Environmental Group is reporting Q2 revenue of $234.5 million, which for them is a 35.3% increase year over year. CEO Vijay Manthripragada said, quote, "This is the best performing quarter by virtually any financial or operating metric used to assess the business, and was the third consecutive quarter of record results. That's due in part to a mix of organic growth, solid cash flow, and simplifying our balance sheet," end quote. The next company I want to briefly highlight is Clean Energy Fuels Corp, who's reporting that they sold 61.4 million gallons of renewable natural gas during the second quarter, up 7.5% year over year. Robert Vreeland, Chief Financial Officer at Clean Energy Fuels, said higher RNG volumes during the second quarter have helped to mitigate lower renewable identification number values. And the last second quarter numbers I'll highlight are from Opal Fuels Incorporated, who are reporting the company achieved a 33% year-over-year growth for their RNG production, reaching 1.2 million MMBTUs for the quarter. The fuel station services segment of the company showed strong performance as well, with a 33% growth compared to Q2 2024. But just a quick reminder, Recyclist is a registered trademark of Diamond Scientific, an industry leader in gas analysis, instrumentation, and solutions. Make sure to visit them online at diamondsci.com. That's diamondsci.com. Or you can even set up a personalized presentation just by calling 321-223-7500. Now on with the news. A new report from Wood Mackenzie claims that the introduction of the transferable tax credit on renewables projects in recent years has nearly doubled the size of the overall market to $52 billion. Wood Mackenzie says it's allowed developers to access financing for renewables that was previously difficult to get. They compare it to the state of the U.S. energy storage capacity in 2016, where the U.S. had just 336 megawatt hours, and the growth forecast for storage was only 7.3 gigawatt hours by 2022, leading to what was supposed to be just a $3.3 billion market. And up next, a Metis is saying that largely thanks to the market growth that's been driven by those regulatory credits, they are now able to target 550,000 MMBTU production capacity by the end of 2025. In a recent report, Eric McAfee, the chairman and CEO, said, quote, "In our dairy RNG business, we are steadily scaling up gas production with a new multi-dairy digester coming online this month that is expected to increase RNG production by 30%, end quote. He also went on to outline their expectations of not just reaching 550,000 MMBTUs by the end of 2025, but reaching 1 million MMBTUs by the end of 2026. McAfee highlighted the approval of 7 dairy pathways by the California Air Resources Board, noting that this unlocks about 120% more low-carbon fuel standard credit revenue for those dairies. And next, CenterPoint Energy recently finalized an agreement to purchase renewable natural gas produced from food scraps and yard waste collected across the Twin Cities metropolitan area in Minnesota. The deal, signed with Demcon HZI Bioenergy, will see the RNG connect to CenterPoint's distribution system in Shakopee, Minnesota from 2027, providing homes and businesses with a lower carbon alternative to conventional natural gas. The plan is forecast to reduce or avoid 1.1 million tons of carbon emissions over its lifetime, create 3,000 full-time jobs, and help the company meet its target of cutting customer attributed emissions by 20 to 30% by 2035. And lastly, Imvalon, an MIT spinoff that converts greenhouse gas emissions into carbon-negative fuels and chemicals, along with Montauk Renewables, have announced a joint venture to develop multiple biogas to green methanol projects. Following a successful field demonstration project, Imvalon and Montauk plan to deploy a portfolio of biogas-based sites with an aggregate annual production capacity of up to 50,000 metric tons of green methanol by 2030. Sean McLean, the president and CEO of Montauk, said, quote, "Montauk continues to expand the horizon of the beneficial uses of biogas. The opportunity set for this partnership is truly exciting and extends beyond new undeveloped projects to include the waste streams from existing biogas facilities. The combination of Montauk's expertise in the capture and refinement of methane emissions with Imvalon's unique platform that converts biogas into scalable, low-carbon methanol not only helps the future of shipping, aviation, and chemical manufacturing, it helps shape the economic viability of current and future biogas projects." End quote. And that will do it for your August 18th, 2025 news roundup, brought to you by Recyclist, again a registered trademark of Diamond Scientific. I've been your host, Eric Provost, and we will see you back here next week on another brand new episode of Recyclist. Thank you.